Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Swiss government conveys its thanks and appreciation to the Sultanate for efforts exerted for the successful arrival of Solar Impulse 2 plane at Muscat International Airport. More than 1,400 job opportunities are offered for university graduates at job exhibition held at the Cultural Center in Sultan Qaboos University. And a new batch of medical specialists joined the medical cadre in various governorates of the Sultanate. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from His Royal Highness Prince Mukrin bin Abdulaziz Al Saud in reply to His Majesty's congratulatory cable on the occasion of him being appointed as a Crown Prince and Deputy Prime Minister in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Solar Impulse 2, claimed to be the world's only solar-powered aircraft, took off from Muscat International Airport today to head towards Ahmedabad in western India, launching the second leg of its epic bid to become the first such plane to fly around the world using clean energy. The aircraft, with its pilot Bertrand Piccard of Switzerland, took off from Muscat at 6:35 a.m. this morning and is expected to land in Ahmedabad after flying nearly 1,465 kilometers over the Arabian Sea in about 16 hours. The pilot, Bertrand Piccard of Switzerland, replaced his compatriot Henri Boschberg, who piloted the plane for 13 hours and 2 minutes from Abu Dhabi to Muscat. The Swiss government conveys its thanks and appreciation to the efforts rendered by the Sultanate for the success of the arrival of Solar Impulse 2 plane to Muscat International Airport as the first stop in its tour around the world. That came when His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, met with Wolfgang Amadeus Brilhart, Deputy Minister of State of Foreign Affairs at the Swiss Federation, who is currently visiting the Sultanate. During the meeting, they discussed the existing cooperation aspects between the two countries and ways of developing them in different fields, and they exchanged points of view on a number of current issues on the regional and international level. More than 1,400 job opportunities for university graduates were offered by Career and Training Fair being held at the Cultural Center in Sultan Qaboos University. The event, in its 6th edition, aims to enhance students' capabilities and qualify them for work market requirements. The exhibition's inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower. More than 1,000 training opportunities were offered in the exhibition in various fields. Various specializations were required by the participating bodies, including engineering, accounting, legal, and other fields. Students and job seekers stressed that the exhibition expanded choices before them and ways to be prepared for work market requirements. On the sideline of the exhibition, lectures will pivot on skills required by labor market and ways to pass job interviews. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower, stressed that the ministry stopped training officers within the aim to review regulations and laws in line with the next stage requirements. He added that the national manpower continued in specialist private sector institutions and also through concerned training centers, indicating that the number of national manpower is increasing in the private sector. A new batch of medical specialists joined the health sector after passing 6-year academic training period. Some 74 male and female physicians in 16 specializations were graduated in a ceremony held under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud As-Sinaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. It is the 6th batch of Oman Medical Specialty Board. They were trained in various training centers at Sultan Qaboos University Hospital, the Royal Hospital, and Nahda, Khawla, Police Masara, and Armed Forces Hospitals. The Oman Diabetes Association launched a mobile clinic which will visit various governorates of the Sultanate to provide early diabetic checking service and patients' care. The launching ceremony held at the National Diabetes and Endocrine Center in the Wilaya of Bushehr was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Taimur bin Asad Al Said, honorary chairman of the association. Those in charge of the campaign stressed that the Sultanate, along with other centers in the region, is one of the most infected countries with diabetes disease. The mobile clinic consists of basic equipment that will help in assessing risk factors and some awareness publications. It also offers consultancy services by specialists from the National Diabetes and Endocrine Centers. The 5-month awareness campaign will start from the Wilaya of Sif, then move to the governorates of North and South Batna, Dakhila, Dakhiliya, North and South Sharqiya. A workshop was held by the Ministry of Health in Muscat to discuss the implementation plan to overcome catastrophes and prevent their risk. This workshop aims to acquaint workers in the program of the society initiatives affiliated to the Ministry of Health and the cases of catastrophes and emergencies, and provide them with necessary expertise to qualify individuals with the local society and boost their efforts in the private clinics to prevent and reduce the impact of emergency cases. The workshop depends on training in this regard in terms of field survey and running the system of society data. Stay tuned, because still to come in our news bulletin. Oman Photography Society achieves 2 gold medals in Sheikh Saud Al Thani International Award for Photography in Qatar. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Nigerian ground forces backed by strikes are fighting to reclaim northeastern towns from Boko Haram group, which seized towns and military bases in the past months. The army has been able to push the militants out of some territories in neighboring Adamawa and Yobe states. For several towns in the northeast, normalcy has been restored, with fleeing villagers gradually returning to their hometowns. A Nigerian commander said Madagali is the only local government which is yet to be recovered, but shortly, very soon, it will be recovered. Cameroon, Chad, Niger and Benin have mobilized forces this year to help Nigeria defeat the group after it seized large amounts of territory and staged cross-border attacks. Exiled Tibetans today protested outside the Chinese embassy in New Delhi, demanding a free Tibet on Tibetan Uprising Day. On this day in 1959, hundreds of thousands of Tibetans risked their lives and poured into the streets of Lhasa city and protested against the presence of the People's Republic of China in Tibet. Hundreds were killed as the Chinese government stamped out the rebellion. The Tibetans rebelled against Chinese control, and the failed uprising forced Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, to flee into exile in India. Police used mild force to disperse the crowd and detained several Tibetan students trying to reach the main gate of the embassy. A scuffle broke out between the protesters and police, compelling the Delhi police officials to drag some of the protesters away. Activists say around 2,500 Tibetans flee China every year for India, mainly to seek the blessings of the Dalai Lama and pursue education. About 134,000 Tibetans live in exile, the vast majority in India or Nepal. At least 40 passengers were injured when a train collided with a tractor trailer that was stuck on the railway tracks in Halifax in the U.S. state of North Carolina. U.S. transportation officials said that 15 people were taken to the local hospital by ambulance and a further 25 by bus after the collision. The tractor-trailer had reversed several times as the truck's driver had tried to turn around, according to a witness who shot a video of the collision with her mobile phone while sitting in her car at a stop sign. The Amtrak train runs between Charlotte, North Carolina, and New York City every day. Apple Incorporated rolled out its newest smart device, the Apple Watch, in San Francisco last night and will start selling them in stores on April 24th. The wearable device can not only function as a timepiece, but also can make and receive calls, send and receive messages and emails, and play music. It will also allow users to use functions currently associated with the iPhone. The smart device can also act as an assistant and a health company, as it will track wearers' exercise and remind them of events and schedules. The watch collection comes in two sizes, a 38mm and 42mm, and with varied prices depending on the selection of the watch band. It also comes in three collections, both casual and high-end. The Shura Council office discussed the letters rendered by a number of citizens whose service ended in one of the companies working in the project of developing Muscat and Salalah airports. The office also discussed a letter meant to include the definition of Amani Shura and academic curriculum rendered by the Committee of Education and Scientific Research that came in the 10th regular meeting of the Shura Council, which also included a look at the response of His Excellency, the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, on establishing a national company for agriculture production and animal wealth. The office also reviewed the memo of Secretary General of the Arab Parliament. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal al-Mauli, Chairman of the Council. Royal Army of Oman organized an open day on the occasion of the GCC Traffic Week. The ceremony included a number of activities, mainly lectures and poems, and performance by the music band of Royal Army of Oman, as well as an exhibition for traffic safety conducted by Transport of Sultan's Armed Forces. Then Major General Matar bin Salim al-Balushi, commander of Royal Army of Oman, the chief guest, distributed cups and prizes and eventually honored the excelled drivers. Royal Air Force of Oman and Royal Navy of Oman took part in the exhibition of jobs and training opportunities in Sultan Qaboos University. The participation aims to provide a sufficient amount of information and specializations and provisions of recruitments in these two forces, in addition to acquainting with the nature of military life. Traffic Safety Institute celebrated graduation of 200 male and female driving trainers after qualifying them in specialized courses in traffic safety. His Excellency Dr. Khalifa bin Abdullah Al-Barwani, Chief Executive Officer of National Center for Statistics and Information, presided over the graduation ceremony. This course is considered one of the important training programs which the Institute organized in cooperation with private sector institutions. The trainers expressed that such good courses give them the right traffic safety instructions. The Sultanate, represented in Oman Photography Society, achieved 2 gold medals in Sheikh Saud Al Thani International Award for Photography with global participation from 80 countries. The celebration, which was held at the Qatari capital Doha, witnessed the presence of artists and people interested in photography. His Excellency Dr. Hamad bin Abdulaziz Al Kawari, Minister of Culture, Art and Heritage in Qatar, presided over the ceremony. The honoring ceremony was accompanied with an exhibition which included the winning pictures in the competition. Now for the general weather forecast. The latest weather prediction charts indicate that trough of low pressure area will affect the northern parts of the Sultanate during the coming days. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the governorates of Musandam and will gradually extend to affect the governorates of North and South Al-Batina, Muscat Al-Dakhiliya, Al-Baraymi, Al-Dhahira, North and South Sharqiya. By tomorrow and Thursday, with chances of scattered rains, occasionally thunder showers associated with hail and gusty winds. The sea is expected to be moderate to rough along the Sea of Oman and the coast of the Governorate of Musandam, with maximum wave height of 3 meters. Numerical weather prediction shows that the weather will become gradually stable by Friday. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation advises the public to follow weather bulletins and updates and be cautious during rainfall and flow of wadis. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Swiss government conveys its thanks and appreciation to the Sultanate for efforts exerted for the successful arrival of Solar Impulse 2 plane at Muscat International Airport. More than 1,400 job opportunities are offered for university graduates at job exhibition held at the Cultural Center in Sultan Qaboos University. And a new batch of medical specialists joined the medical cadre in various governorates of the Sultanate. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, thank you for watching and good night.